You are listening to the Warrior Project podcast, where mindset, tribe, and violence meet.
My name is Justin Garcia, also known as Master Chim, and welcome to the Warrior Project podcast. If you guys have not checked us out on iTunes already, it may be how you've downloaded this episode, do me a favor and leave a review, leave a message, a rating, add as many stars as they let you. It helps me out tremendously. You guys know the deal. The better we are reviewed and favored by listeners, the easier it is to find us in the search engines, and that's how we win this game, right? Let's own the aquarium together. Okay, so today, the query for this episode is, what is a coward? What is a coward? So, if we're talking about cowardice, it's important that we make some distinctions. And I'm going to start off with my definition of what a coward is, and then let's break it down a bit. So I call a coward someone who is too scared to do his job and makes the choice to betray it. All right? Someone who is too scared to do his job and makes the choice to betray it. So a misconception about cowardice and what a coward is, people think a coward is somebody who simply possesses fear or is scared. And that's certainly not the case. All of us are scared of different things. All of us possess fear, right? We have inherent fears. Sometimes we're aware of them. Sometimes they reveal themselves depending on, situations we're exposed to. And I'll say right now, a lot of people love horror movies because they are addicted to the feeling of that fear, right? That jolt that they get from being scared. And so it's very much a normal part of who we are. I think we do ourselves a disservice to reduce cowardice to simply possessing fear or being scared. It's actually the inaction that makes a coward a coward. It's the lack of commitment to a deed that makes a coward. And that is an important observation to make because it's how we assess people's abilities. It's how we look at somebody and create a sort of level of reliance. How much can I rely on this individual? Well, he seems scared. Well, is that the criteria by which we cut him off and remove him, from the role we have awaiting them? Or is it the inaction? There's something to be said for the guy, and I've coached countless people in mixed martial arts competitions, as an example. I don't think there's ever really been, maybe I got a couple of them, who have gone into the cage and not been scared, right? So I'm looking at them, I'm looking at their body language, I'm looking at the difference in their personality in the gym compared to about to enter the cage and the little changes they make. And I understand there's some fear there. I understand there's some doubt. I understand to some extent they're scared. I understand that. Yet I've seen time and time again individuals, despite having that fear, going in, performing and accomplishing their mission, achieving their mission. I've also seen, to use this example a little bit more, people who have become boisterous, right, or emotional, or basically make an effort to mask their fear, and then they find themselves in these situations, and they quit. They either literally quit, or they make up an excuse, or I had a fighter once, I won't mention his name, but this is years ago, and he no longer trains with me. He actually faked getting knocked out by his opponent. Now, he was scared. I understood he was scared, but we trained for it. We did everything in terms of preparation to be in that cage, to be in that situation, and he still quit. That is what a coward is made up of. It's not the guy that is so scared he gets frozen even. So going back to the definition of what a coward is, someone is too scared to do his job and makes the choice to betray it, right? Makes the choice to betray it means they tell themselves, because of their fear, I'm not going to do this. I know I've committed to it by oath. I know my tribe, my brothers and sisters are relying on me. But because of my fear, I am saying, no, not going to do it. I've had people, I remember one time when I had to be 12 years old, 7th grade. Yeah, about 12. I was walking through Edenwald projects in the Bronx. And I had a buddy of mine. And this buddy of mine and I were going to what we used to call hooky parties, right? Everybody'd skip school and go to somebody's house. We'd hang out, watch videos. Hopefully there'd be some girls there, right? And this individual that I'm walking with, who was a classmate of mine, happens to have lived in Edenwald projects. And as we're walking through, we come upon this ragtag bunch of bullies, right? The stereotypical group of teenagers who were there to pick on the younger guys. And they knew who he was, and they started messing with him. They started messing with him. And I didn't know who they were, and, not going to bail on my buddy, interceded and said, hey, guys, why don't you just let us go? Something to that effect. Like, listen, like, we're not messing with you. We don't mean you guys, we don't want any problems. We're just walking through. We'll leave right now. Trying to, be the diplomat in this situation. And they turned their attention on me and they said, oh, yeah? Well, who are you? And this turned into, a few seconds later, me being in the fetal position, covering up on the ground while I was being kicked, stomped, and having furniture from garbage piles thrown on me by this group of people. Well, at a certain point, I look up to see where my buddy is, and basically try to make sure he's okay, right? Still trying to stay loyal to my brother there, or what I perceived to be my brother. He was nowhere to be found. As soon as this group had made a move toward me, he hightailed it out of there and basically left me to their mercy. Whatever happened, happened. And it's probably one of the earliest memories I have in my life of being in a situation going, am I going to make it out of this? As ridiculous as it may sound now, I wound up just getting a bunch of bumps and bruises and was no worse for wear. But when we talk about cowardice, it's not that he didn't fight for me. It's not that he didn't, actively do something to try and help me. It's that he decided to leave. That is what makes him a coward in that situation. Now, I will say, years later, having, tracked, social media is a wonderful thing where this is concerned. Having tracked the trajectory of his life, he's not doing well. He didn't make a lot of good decisions and didn't wind up in a lot of good situations. And I will say he's somebody who probably had a lot of potential in terms of being somebody, and just didn't pan out. And, one would wonder, well, if you're noticing somebody being a coward at 12 years old, exactly what do they hope to accomplish by the time they're 20, 30, 40, etc.? So the fact that he chose to betray his friendship, his brotherhood to me, and leave me is what makes him a coward. Now, he could have very easily have just frozen, and he would have been too scared at that point to do his job, but maybe he would never have gotten to the point where he said, you know what, I'm out of here. Maybe he would have gotten to the point that despite his inability to overcome his fear, he actively continued to attempt to do so. That would have absolved him from being a coward in my eyes. That would have removed the cowardice. Maybe at that point we would have called him weak. We would have called him scared or unable, not formidable. Maybe there would have been another category for him, but I don't think I would have called him a coward. Had he wanted and was actively attempting to overcome this fear to be able to do something. So, what's my take? Fear is a normal emotion. It often increases awareness. I would say to blame fear, or to call somebody a coward because of fear, is to be dishonest about it. We're all scared at certain points in our lives. Are we all cowards? Of course not. I think when you start blaming fear, you start, making a case for never acknowledging when you're scared. And then you never get to acknowledge the tools and the things you've done to overcome that fear, removing that wisdom from everybody in your tribe. So I think blaming fear is not what we should be doing at all when we're talking about what a coward is. The deeds, as usual, are what matter. A coward is one who doesn't do what he's committed himself to do. Now, I will make a distinction before I wrap this up. One last one that just came to mind as I'm discussing this. If you see somebody in the street and he observes somebody else being attacked and he does not act to aid that person who is being victimized, he is not, by definition, a coward. We don't know what his obligations are. We don't know what commitments and oaths he's made. So to cite somebody for refusing to engage in dangerous activity or violence or take a risk, to accuse them of being a coward because of that does not take into account a key component of my definition of what a coward is. Someone who's too scared to do his job and makes a choice to betray it. We are not beholden to strangers. We are not cowards because we do not risk our lives for people who are not connected to the success of our tribes. That does not a coward make. So again, what is a coward? Someone who is too scared to do his job and makes the choice to betray it. Visit MasterChim.com. It's the Master Chim letter website, and you go there, you put your email in, and every morning I send you an email. I make announcements sometimes. I pitch some products every now and again, admittedly, right? But I share insights. I share what I think are little tidbits of wisdom and power, and it's completely free. And I'll never share your email, so don't worry about that. That's a thing nowadays, right? Selling it and having my guys getting spammed. I'm not about that. So go to MasterChim.com and sign up for the Master Chim letter. You could also visit thewarriorproject.com, and there are two main things waiting for you when you do. When you go to thewarriorproject.com, we have the archive of all of the episodes of this Warrior Project podcast. We also have the ability to join the Warrior Project Tribe, which is my membership site. It is chock full of archived episodes and power programs, and you'll receive an invitation when you join to my private Facebook group for the Warrior Project Tribe, where I do a Monday Manversation live video every week. And I would like to see you join us behind the wall. There's a lot of power there, and I look forward to sharing it with you. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I certainly enjoyed recording it. Appreciate you guys' time in listening to it. And remember, warriors, someone believes in you. Prove them right.